Michaelnagar Shikha Niketan Higher Secondary Government-sponsored co-ed English medium school has taken an excellent initiative of teaching and make our students learn day-to-day lessons through audio and video in our YouTube channel. Teachers of all the subjects are working hard to enhance these online classes in the midst of this pandemic situation. It is a request to all the teachers, students and guardians to click the bell icon and subscribe our channel.
Welcome to the science classroom of Michaelnagar Shikha Niketan. Now what we are going to do today, we are going to start with the chapter measurement. Okay, this chapter belongs to class 6 and we are going to study subject science. So what first we have to learn? We have to learn about the definition of measurement. Okay, so now what is definition of measurement? Before that, what I want to know is why do we need measurement? Why do we need measurement? We need the measurement in order to compare the quantity, right? In order to compare the quantity. Now, in a theoretical manner, we will learn about the definition. What is the definition? See, it is the assignment of a number of a characteristics of an object or an event which can be compared with the other object or the event. So now what is happening? We are taking two of the object. Okay. Now why do we need, in the definition what we are learning, that in order to compare the two of the quantity, what do we need? We need to measure that. Okay. So we need to measure that, and on the basis of what we are measuring it, we are measuring it on the basis of the characteristics. Now what kind of characteristics we are taking in consideration? We are taking the height, weight, or most commonly what can we say, that the physical characteristics or the characteristics which can be seen from the outside. Okay, most of the time we consider those characteristics which can be seen from the outside. Now what is happening over here, that what can be the example of such characteristics? Height and weight. Okay, most commonly we measure the height and weight by the by any of the unit or by any of the method. Okay, and this height and weight are one of our physical quantity. Okay, now next, as we are talking about the physical quantity, we have to know what is physical quantity. Anything which can be measured. Okay, anything which can be measured. So height can be measured, weight can be measured. So both of them can be considered as a physical quantity. Okay, now this physical quantity, now if in order to measure the height, what do? We use the length of the object, right? That means what? This length is one of the physical quantity. Next, the types of physical quantity. What are the types of physical quantity? See, physical quantity are being divided into two types. One, fundamental, another one is derived. Fundamental and derived. Now, what is the major difference between fundamental and derived? This is one of the important questions that are being asked in the examination. Now, what are the difference between fundamental and derived? Fundamental do not depend on other quantity, means it is enough singularly. Okay, it is singularly enough to express itself. Now what is the example? Length. Okay, now next, derived. So as we have already learned that the fundamental does not depend on other physical quantity, that means what? The derived will be just the opposite of that. What is the opposite? That it depends on other quantities. Okay, why it depends on other quantity? Because it is made up of other quantity, means two or more quantity together, two or more fundamental physical quantity together makes the derived quantity. Okay, what is the example? Density. Now how it is a derived quantity? Because density is equal to mass by volume. Mass and volume. Clear? Understood all of you? Now next, units of physical quantity. What are the units? Now why do we need the units? See, what happens in a measurement? Measurement is just a number that is being assigned to any of the object, and on the basis of what it is being assigned, it is assigned on the basis of the characteristics. Okay, now why Now what happened, this number is being assigned some of the units. Okay, on the basis of that unit, sometimes we can also understand that in what state these units are. Okay, in what states these units are. Now suppose we are measuring a water or we are measuring a fluid. Okay, so from the liter we can understand that particular substance is in liquid form. Okay, or that particular substance is in fluid form. Now we have learned about what is measurement, we have learned about the physical quantity, types of physical quantity. Now units of physical quantity, see what happens. Now why do we need this physical quantity? Okay, now what happened, what used to happen in the previous day, that we used to use the hand span or the this part from knee to our palm. This part of the body is being used for what? For measuring any kind of thing. Okay, now what is the problem occurring, that every person has different length of palm or different length of hand. Now because of this different length of hand or palm, what is happening, that the difference in the measurement, okay, the difference in the measurement is occurring. Clear? So that is why what we are going to do, our scientist has evolved a internationally accepted unit. Okay, the units which will be internationally accepted. Now what is internationally accepted? That means a particular unit will be there for all over the world. Okay, now those units are called the International System of Unit or SI unit. Okay, now next, now we have learned about the SI unit. Now what we have to learn? We have to learn that how these SI units are being written. Okay, see there are certain rules and regulations that has to be maintained while writing an SI unit. Clear? Now one of the important things in the examination, most of the time teachers deduct the marks if we don't write the SI unit along with the measurement. So this is very important and everybody should learn this. One, the full stop, comma, etc. are not written after the symbol. Suppose the symbol is centimeter. Okay, we are not going to give full stop or not going to give comma after this particular centimeter. Now next, use of singular form. Okay, use of singular form. If it is centimeter, it will be centimeter only, not centimeters. Okay, next, never initial in capital letter. So we will never write the units in the capital letter. But there is one exception. What is that exception? If written after the name of a person, the symbol is in capital letter. Okay, if we are writing the symbol after a name of a person, then it will be in the capital letter. So I hope everybody understood this. Okay, now what we are going to learn? We are going to learn about the international standard of meters. Okay, now what happens in an international standard of meter, that the particular measurement is being assigned to a particular object. What is that object? In 1889, a cylindrical rod made up of an alloy of platinum and iridium was kept at the 0 degree Celsius in the Institute of International Bureau of Weight and Measure in Paris. Now what has happened, in order to keep this international standard of the unit in a constant way, there was one alloy was being invented. Okay, so that is made up of what? That is made up of platinum and iridium. Okay, so that international that is kept where? It is kept in the Institute of International Standard Bureau of Weight and Measures in the Paris. Okay, why this is kept over here? Because in order to keep the international unit or in order to keep the measurement constant. Okay, now we cannot kept it just like that. Okay, now there should be, what happens sometimes, that due to the temperature change, the alloy changes its characteristics. So to keep the temperature constant, what we are doing, we are keeping it in a 0 degree Celsius. Clear? Now this point is very much important, everybody should remember this. Now We have learned about the unit, we have learned about the physical quantity. Now what we are going to learn? We are going to learn about the ways of the measurement. Okay, there are several ways of the measurement that we are going to learn. Now the first one is the mass. How we can measure mass? We can measure the mass by the means of the common balance. Everybody has seen the common balance. Where you have seen the common balance? Mostly if you go to the market, what they do, suppose you want to get 5 kilos of potato. So what they do, they take a common balance. Okay, they take the potatoes over here and 5 kg amount of weight. Okay, 5 kg amount of weight is kept over there. If these two are equal, then what we have to know? We have to know that this measurement is correct. But if this one is getting inclined, okay, if this one is getting inclined, that means what? Inclined where? Inclines in the downwards. Okay, if it is getting inclined downwards, then what we have to know? That this potato is not correctly measured. We have to give more potato in order to keep it equal. Similarly, if more potato is given and this part of the potato or this part of the common balance is getting inclined in the downwards, then what we have to understand? We have to understand that the person who is measuring in the common balance has given more potato, and that is why the weight of this one doesn't match with the weight of the potato. Clear? Now, so this thing has to be noted properly. Now what we are going to learn? We are going to learn about the measurement of the area. Now mass is mostly assigned for the weight. Okay, mass is mostly assigned for the weight of the object. Now area is mostly assigned for the space occupied by an object. Okay, now how we can measure the area? Suppose we want to measure a rectangular box. Okay, now first we have to know its length, that what length it is having. Okay, suppose this is one box. So first what we have to do, we have to know its length. Clear? We have to know its length. Next what we have to do, we have to know its breadth. Clear? Now by multiplying the length and breadth together, we can get the area of that rectangular box. Clear? Now what we are having? We are having this sphere. Okay, see, the formula of rectangle cannot be similar with the formula of the sphere. Now how can we get the surface area of a sphere? So we have to take a pi and the diameter. Now what is diameter? Suppose this is a circle and we are measuring the circle from the middle. Okay, so this particular line which passes the circle from the middle is called the diameter. Okay, now if diameter is divided into half, then it will be radius. Okay, if it is a full line, then it will be diameter, and if it is half line, then it will be a radius. Okay, now in the examination what happens? Most of the time, in order to trick you, the teacher what does? Teacher uses the radius. Okay, teacher uses the radius, but you should not be afraid, because radius can be converted into diameter by multiplying 2. Okay. Now if we go according to the formula, now everybody, the pi is a constant thing. Okay, that means what? It has a constant number or a constant value. What is the constant value of pi? 3.14. And if the diameter is 20 square, so the numerical will be somewhat like this. So I want everybody who are watching this video to do this sum and write the answer in the comment section. Now what we have already learned about area and mass. How the area is being measured? It is measured by the instrument called common balance. How the mass is being measured? It is measured by the instrument called common balance. And how area is being measured? Area is being measured by the use of measuring tape, because in order to know the length and breadth we need that measuring tape. So everybody, these things are very common. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to learn about how the volume is being measured. Okay, now how the volume is being measured, now in order to know about the measurement of the volume, first thing what we have to know, we have to know that what is volume. Okay, now what is volume? A space occupied by an object. Okay, space occupied by an object is called the volume. Clear? Now we have learned that what is volume. Now how we can measure this? See, over here I have taken a measuring beaker. Now now what we are going to do, we are going to learn about the measurement of the volume. Okay, now what is volume? A space occupied by an object. Now in order to know that how the volume is being measured, what we are going to do, we have taken a beaker over here. Okay, now in this beaker there are some numeric figures are being assigned in order to know that how much fluid is present over here. Now over here, if it is a ml beaker, then it will be written ml over here, and the numbers will be assigned according to that. Okay, suppose over here we have taken 5, over here the number, the amount of water matches with 5. Okay, that means what? The 5 ml of water is present over here. Now, this is the thing that is told over here, that the volume of a liquid is measured by the measuring cylinder. Okay, the volume of a liquid is being measured by the measuring cylinder. Now, what is the unit that are being used for the volume? See, SI unit of volume is cubic meter. Now, this is very important for in the examination point of view. Another one is CGS unit of volume. Now, what is the full form of CGS? You are going to write in the comment section. Now, what is the CGS unit of the cubic centimeter? The CGS unit of the cubic centimeter, CGS unit of the volume is the cubic centimeter. Okay, CGS unit of the volume is cubic centimeter. Now, next thing, measuring of the time. Now, we have learned about the measurement of the volume. We have understood that how we can measure the volume. Now, what we are going to learn? We are going to learn about the time. Now, what is time? The interval between two events. Suppose you have started walking from your home at 9 o'clock and you have reached your school at 9:50. So, the interval between the starting event and the ending event is the time. Clear? Now, how the time is being generally measured? It is measured by the solar day. Now, what is solar day? Solar day means the difference between first sunlight falling on a ground on first day from the sunlight falling on the ground on the next day. Okay. See, it is also written over here that the time difference between the first sunlight falling on the ground on a first day from the first sunlight falling on the next day. Clear? That difference is the solar day. Now, what is happening? We generally measure the time in terms of hours, minutes, seconds and days. Okay. Now, 1 year is equal to 365 days. And if it is a leap year, it will be 366 of course. Now, what is 1 day? 1 day is equal to 24 hours. 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. And again 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Now, this is one of the important thing that is going to be important for your rest of the life. Every people should know these things. Clear? Now, how the time is being measured? What is the instrument for measuring time? Of course, clock or the watch. See, there are some of the difference between general watch and other watches. Okay, nowadays we are using different kind of watches. Some watches are containing the artificial intelligence as well, and we use the stopwatch in the case of athletes. Okay, how much time they have taken to reach one destination, that is being calculated by the stopwatch. So there are variation in the watches in order to measure the time. now what we are going to learn, we are going to learn about the estimation of the measurement. Now what happened, most of the time we don't have the measuring instrument with us. Okay, suppose your friend has come to meet you. Okay, he will arrive in half an hour. So you have to calculate that in what speed you have to reach over there in order to meet your friend. So there are other example as well during the cooking. Okay, during the cooking, what do? We estimate the amount of salt or sugar in the food. Okay, now what is this? In order to cope up in absence of the measuring instrument, what do? We estimate the measurement. Okay, we approx the measurement. We assume the measurement. Okay, now this is one of the thing. Estimation of measurement. I hope everybody has understood. Now what is estimation? If you are being asked, you will say that approximation of the measurement in absence of the measuring instrument. Now next thing, measurement of plant and animal growth. What happened? We generally measure the growth of a plant and animal on the basis of size, mass and height. On the basis of increase of size, mass and height along with the time, we measure the growth of the plant and animal. Now in the case of the plant, what do? We use a particular instrument called the oxanometer. Okay, we use a particular instrument called oxanometer. Now how the rate of the plant growth can be measured? By calculating the growth along with the time. As I have told before that the plant growth is estimated by the size, mass and the height along with the time. Okay, in a particular, suppose in a 2 years, how much height growth has happened to a particular plant. So that will ensure us, or that will tell us that how much growth has happened to that particular plant. Clear? Now animal growth. How the animal growth is being measured? Animal growth is being measured by the centimeter scale. See, if you go to see the doctor, what happened? There will be a particular scale and you have to stand over there, and on reference to that scale you will be told that how much height increase or what is your height. Now next one is weight. Now weight is another thing that happen if you go to the doctor's clinic or if you go to any of the clinic. What happens over there? That they take your weight, or how much weight gain has been occurred in you will be done by the weighing machine. Now which unit is being used for weight, or which unit is being used to measure our weight? Kilogram. Now this is the end of the chapter. Everybody please go through the chapter properly and please look into the other sources as well. Okay, now first of all, the most important thing for this chapter is going through the book and going through the practical example. Okay, what we have done, we have learned it in a theoretical manner. Now everybody should look for the common balance. If you have seen the measuring cylinder, this kind of things should be seen by your eyes. Why? So that you can get the practical knowledge and you can apply it in your examination. Clear? Now if you like this video, please like, subscribe and comment. Okay, thank you.
Thanks for watching. Leave a like and comment. Subscribe. And do share the video among your friends.